Does like the angry stop, 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 stop with cute little feet out the door.
And I will pat her head as she walks by.
She goes, ooh, and then walks away.
Well, anyway, you had the right idea in mind. They were in fact connected all along, just not in the way we anticipated.
So,
Yeah.
is there anything I know that Yazi was searching around for Sheng Lupo. And then of course Sheng Lupo wanted to kind of report back, but we can assume another day can go by work-wise if you don't want, if there's no objections.
Well, I mean, I've got to talk to people still. Otherwise, I've got nothing to make.
Oh, sure. Go right ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. I go ahead.
Unfortunately, I need to come up with plans to assert supplies and hire people. Otherwise, business is going to run to a standstill on my end. But I've got to run into Sheng Lupo first because I'm assuming that I can't get through a full day without finding him somewhere in the village.
Well, you can expedite the process by doing a mind and gossip check.
I thought you were going to say fire a gun.
You could do that too.
Roll a what now?
Mind and gossip.
Mind is D6, gossip is D8. Nothing. You know, I'm just going to go to his fucking house. How about that? I will sit outside his house.
You will eventually find me there.
Me and my assistant will be there.
So yeah,
since we're kind of speeding things up, Tamra, are you okay with the offer I gave the Fire Strike gang member to help us meet up with the member of the gang who does not like Jan the Ugly?
Oh, yes, of course. If that's what it takes for him to agree, then I can go ahead and write that out. Scribe, please take note. I, Tamra, in recognition of your honorable and noble service, do hereby grant you your freedom, as well as a small portion of land for which to pursue your endeavors within, what was it? Within Yuchin.
And he, of course, says, yes, ma'am, writes it down, and starts to gets the sealing wax ready for you and your signature.
Yes, you use the red wax this time. I think we're running short on the gold.
Yes, ma'am.
It's so nice having someone to actually help out now.
Well, he's very efficient, and you can tell he's used to, he used to do things like this all the time, so.
Well, here's the letter. If you simply hand it along, he'll definitely understand. Wait. Can't read, can he?
The gang member, no, absolutely not.
Well, I suppose just having a fancy piece of paper should be enough then.
Well, if it has your seal on it as well, I'm sure that would carry a lot of weight. It looks official.
Right, precisely. So, well, it still has all the proper words and seal, so it is official.
Okay. So, Sheng Lupo, you do have I guess like a letter of recommendation now.
Yeah, okay, cool. And now I will meet up with Yazi.
Yes, I say Yazi and his assistant will be waiting outside your house. I feel like...
Probably see them while you leave the mayor's house.
I hope you weren't bothered by spiders.
Actually, I think Yazi would have more of a tense look about him. Although, you can't see his face. It's more body language with him. Aggravation about being kept waiting for so long, in that he's been looking around town for literally 12 hours now. And it seems like wherever he goes, he would be hearing that you were just there, and you've run away somewhere.
I'm sorry, our otter is in another location.
Yes. It's a professional annoyance that he's starting to have Like I said, if he got sidelined one more time, he was going to drop your order into the river. You're an otter. You can get it back.
Not an otter.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm trying to be super nice. I gave you this shit at a discount. Anyways.
And I appreciate it. I'm sorry I was hard to track down.
Every time I try and catch you, you go to somebody else instead of giving me. Anyway, I'm there with my assistant when you come back.
Yellow.
Alright, Yazzie is going to turn to you. He has his hands clasped behind his back in his elegant robes. And he will say, "Ah, Sheng Lu Po, I have been searching for you for quite some time now. Just the other day, we finally finished your tasks." And he will gesture to his assistant, who will bow his head, and he's holding a, not an ornate box, just a simple box, which he will clasp open to you. And Yazzie will pull out your first requested item, the sectional steel whip. For some reason I'm getting a lot of sound feedback. Hearing myself. Anyway, he will hold out the steel whip, and he will gesture to it. As you can see, we've spent some extra time making it a bit more ornate for someone of your style. And the handle will look like the tail end of a dragon, the serpentine variety of dragon. And each section of the steel whip will then look like a part of the dragon's body, so that when you get to the pointed end, it will look more like an open dragon's mouth with some sort of breathed fire effect on the very edge, and that will be the stabbing edge, is the breathing fire. Super ornate look. And he will then hand
Very
that
good.
over to you. And secondly, the fan that you requested. And he will hold it up, and it will look very plain, especially as compared to the sectional steel whip. Except that when he, folds it out, the little bumps around the handle will, when extended into a full fan pattern, will appear to be an open-mouthed wolf face facing upwards.
Ooh.
As we say, these are the items that you requested, given the flair of our creation.
You've gone above and beyond. My sincerest thanks. And I'm not sure if you've heard, but I am now heading up a bit of the town development. If there's anything that you would like, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do.
You are heading up the town development.
Hmm.
I feel like
I know,
Yazzie is going
crazy.
to clip his hands back behind his waist again, and like his form is going to tighten up ever so slightly. Again, it's hard to read. His body language is all he's going to give away. It says, "Good to know. If there's no further business."
I think that's all.
Very well. I believe there are a few more migrants that I must speak to today. If you have any further business, you know where I can be reached.
Of course.
And if I could have some time, I would like to talk to some of the people that came by to live in the village.
Sure.
That have... I'm guessing that since I was looking for Sheng Lu Po this entire time, with some time to talk to people as I passed them by, I would know who has not yet been given a job to do.
Definitely. Yeah, there's probably, once they have a place to stay, they kind of loiter about, but if you want to put them to work, you're more than able to do that.
Yes, well, I need to hire some labor, specifically cutting wood, transporting people up and down the river. Like I said, now I'm getting sloppy seconds on who's left.
Oh well, there's plenty of just like the carpenter that Sheng Lupo took is gone, but the rest of the people there are still available. You can easily find labor or people who are willing to do laboring stuff.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I've missed out on skilled labor, and now I'm going with unskilled labor.
Sure.
So, like I said, I'm going to need to find people to cut down trees. People I can get into number to... I guess I'm going to need to find 2 or 3 people for at least a week's worth, because I'm going to need the raw materials in order to then craft new stuff to then sell, so that I can then keep paying people.
Oh, you could easily get you could probably get, well, actually, yeah, do a mind and gossip check. So I already have a number in my head, and we'll see how many additional.
Can I get a bonus D8 for my assistant's assistance?
Of course.
I'm going to use my personality. Is that fine? I'm confident.
Sure.
I'm confident this is going to work out in my favor. I am a businessman, and the fact that I'm losing out business to these idiots. No offense to you guys, it's an in-character observation.
Well, you were able to kind of talking down around and following Sheng Lupo's rehousing efforts. You come up with 6 people who are more than happy to cut wood for you and assist. The jobs available here are pretty much farming, and if you want to do more farming, you could do that, or you could work the mulberry patch, but you only really do that if you can't smell anymore.
Well, the problems with farming is that is a long-term proposition, and there is little money to be had in that. That would be I have plans for farming, it's just not right now. Right now,
Sure.
I need carpentry. And I guess,
Well,
unfortunately, my next door neighbor is the carpenter who has already been hired by the town. So that was a big loss on my part.
well, that was. Didn't you have a? I'm sorry, your secondary assistant. He's not your carpenter.
My assistant, no, he's a blacksmith. I needed
Okay.
him. I needed his skilled aid in the blacksmith to now do expensive blacksmithing items, which I won't be able to
Okay.
really do in any good length until we actually go back to the city. So
Okay. Well, the good news is that was a refugee that came in the crowd. So there might still be a carpenter in town. You just have to find one. So that would be. What skills would you have to try to track down a carpenter?
ironically, I'm pretty sure it's the same die roll I've done twice in a row already.
Yeah.
Gossip.
Yep. Mind and gossip, and your assistant can help.
Two successes.
Okay. Well, good news is that despite the fact that a large number of the skilled professionals and labor left, there is still a journeyman carpenter that the town relies to do repairs, and he did not get snagged up.
What level of skill is he considered to be?
Well, journeyman is, I guess you could say, an expert, and I think master is probably too much, but yeah, he'd be skilled labor.
Okay, so 2 boo a day, basically.
Well, is it 2 or 3? What's the
Skilled labor is 2 boo a day.
Okay.
That means
Well,
that they have 2 dice, which means they can rote to 1.
Well, I think in this case he'd probably be 3. He's not a grandmaster, but he's not. He's enough where he could make his own shot, but he hasn't. So I guess that would make him master level.
Master, where are you? Hold
Sorry.
on. No, sorry.
It'd be 3d8s, right?
3D. Sorry. They're measured by dice. I didn't have the sheet open. It's opening
That's okay.
now.
See if I can find it.
Yeah, no, I'm opening the thing now. Caught me off guard. I actually thought I wasn't going to be able to get this done. Because I know skilled labor is 2, and they're 2 dice.
Well, it looks like okay, yeah. So it says unskilled is 1d6, skilled is 2d6, master is 3d8, grandmaster is 4d10, legend is 5d12. So I guess this guy, since he's really kind of the best in the whole village, I'd put him as a master at 3d8. So
Which
he's
means
like, yeah. So
3
he
boo
did-
a day.
yeah, or it'd be 3.
I guess I could try to hire him for a week. It
Sure.
eats well into my ability to get more stuff. That means I'm gonna have to talk to Tamra. I hate talking to Tamra.
You
love
hear
it.
another.
And
You hear another knock on the door, Tamra.
Well, at least I don't have to go walking around town asking for people to do things. They just come straight to me nowadays.
Well, wait, was
Yes,
I able
come in.
to?
The door's open today.
Was I able to hire that master labor?
Yeah, he's more than willing to work.
He's willing
at
to
the
take
center.
on that 1-week contract.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I'll go to Tamra.
Okay.
Also,
Yes, come in. Door's unlocked today.
all right, and of course wearing. Actually, I'm gonna switch over. You don't have the picture, but I'm just gonna describe real quick. It's that, but in white. I'm wearing the white, not doing labor today outfit. Ah, yes.
Okay.
Good mare. Always a pleasure to see you.
You look like you've been quite busy the past few days. Please, come sit, have some tea. Let's catch up.
Of course, of course. And I will move to a chair and wait for the mare to be seated first.
So what brings you here today?
As you know, I have reopened the smith. The forge has been lit. Work has been done. And I am more than well aware that you have need of supplies for your new guardsmen.
Quite so. I've been going over it with the captain, and my scribe here has been keeping track. I believe we have the list of that which we'll need. Most of our original guard is in desperate need of new armor, better weapons. I suppose shields would probably do, especially if they're going to continue to go up against the archers of the Flaming Fist Gang. Fire Strike Gang. Yeah.
Yep.
Right, and as he will nod to all this, and as you know, we are more than capable of making some of the finest wares you'll see this side of even the city in my smith.
Oh, of course. My trust in your ability is beyond reproach.
Right.
I'm s-
And you know that we're more than willing to give the most significant of discount to anybody in the city. I'm sorry, in the village? Is this a village? Is it the Eugen village or the Eugen town?
Yes. It's a village.
Sorry, I forget if it was a township or a village. Okay,
Yeah.
It's only a couple hundred people.
right.
Well, you'll be delighted to know I do have a little bit of extra money to pay you with recently. And she'll just sort of casually reach into a pocket and pull out like a single golden aureole and just show it off. At first, I thought I
Ooh.
was being shortchanged, and, well, I was. But I think this should end up being sufficient at the end, or at least the majority of what we'll need to spend on.
I mean, through the mask, he'll squint at it, but, you know, outwards, I guess maybe the eyebrows, because he has those thick white eyebrows that come over the top of the mask, would be the only visible movement. He will say, that would be a good down payment on supplies to begin construction. But given the number of new migrants to this village, I'm not quite sure that would be enough. You see, that the reason I have come to talk to you today is that I have been made aware that in my absence there have been a number of, shall we say, engagements that have been made against people that would see this village ruined. Is that true?
Quite so, and more to come.
And that these interlopers have had equipment on them that might be melted down for supplies?
A small amount. If I recall right, I think most of the normal archers just had like leather and bows, right?
That's right.
I do recall there was a number of them that had chain.
Right, so I'll describe like that there are Calabrian mercenaries also working with this group, and they are much better armed and armored. However, we haven't happened to have captured or stopped nearly as many of them. I think we have 2 total under our belt.
Right, but you see, here's the thing. And I'm going to go on here and explain it in character in a way that I'm going to describe out of character. There is a thing here, right, where used items sell for 20%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for me, where I sell them for 30%. But that's not even the point I'm getting at. I need 20% value of an item to start making a new version of that item, which means that I should conceivably be able to break down an old version of an item, melt it down, start making it into a new version of it, which sells at 100%.
Yeah, I could see that. You could take a damaged piece of chainmail and then fix it up or melt it or change it and then sell it new. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
then,
melt the bows down into a sword.
which would give me enough from that, selling at 100%, to then get enough resources to make 5 more sets of chainmail. So, the thing I'm trying to explain in character then is that if I could get my hands on those things that you've looted, I could jumpstart the process of re-equipping this town guard.
Well, you can put a call out for steel. I mean, if you capture swords in that, you could certainly melt that down, turn it into wire to make rings and make into chainmail.
Right.
That too, of course.
That would be the immediate area thing. Unfortunately, like I said before, is I'm going to need to hire boatsmen to go back and forth from the city to bring me supplies. From the city's going to have more supplies from people, who do business there than I'm going to get from this place. This place doesn't have a mine nearby, has no immediately available metals and such.
I think the number one resource we have is soil that's not terrible right now.
That's right. But you don't know that you, Tamra, might have to look into the town's archives to see if there was ever a mineral survey done.
This is true. That could definitely be something I can do at a later point, maybe with plenty of scribing assistance.
Yeah, you would certainly help that. And he'd be easy on the eyes as well while he did. But,
oh, yes, indeed.
But yeah.
But yes, if you wish the spoils, I can certainly arrange that. Though I would ask that if you wish us to haul it all, you be there yourself to drag it away.
Indeed.
But as for the spoils we have so far, what did we even do with them? I think Shang might be wearing one of the chainmail suits that we took off of them, and I'm not certain what we did with the other. Oh.
I am merely requesting salvage rights.
Well, I suppose we'll work that into the deal then.
I also need to make use of the carpenter housing beside my blacksmith.
If I'm correct, I believe Shang is currently trying to orchestrate one of the refugee carpenters into working on housing for the other refugees.
I have currently in my employ a carpenter of master skill, unrivaled by anybody else currently in this village, that I would...
Ah, yes, our local.
Yes, that I would like to be able to put to work refining any, materials needed for other projects as well.
He has least to choose his own work at the time being, so if he chooses to work under you, then that is truly his decision.
No, he is entered into contract. He is working for me at this current juncture.
Oh, well there you go then. Sounds like you've solved your own problem.
I think there's going to be a pause here where I'm unsure as to whether you've acquiesced or if you're putting up a roadblock.
From the sounds of it, from what Tamra is understanding, you wanted the carpenter to work under you, and you got him under a contract,
No,
And
that's
you're coming here to get the blessing of the mayor to do so?
no. You've I think that's the misunderstanding. He's asking for use of the carpenter's shack, which is the building right next to the blacksmith, where he's working.
Oh.
He has
if the
a
carpenter's under your contract, then, currently he needs to still use it, doesn't he? So, for the time being, of course.
in as much as Yazi owns the blacksmith, I guess what we're going for here is ownership of the carpenter shack.
I think the implication is that the carpenter shack is owned by the carpenter you hired.
No, I understand. I understand where we're going at there. I'm throwing this other loop out there. I'm trying to hit this horseshoe with my hand grenade.
But if the goal is to own it, and if that's in the possession of the carpenter currently, she's not going to simply wrest it away from him.
Are you not the mayor?
Sounds like he wants some favor.
For the time being, since we do have a contract to preserve, and you do have plenty of work for the town to do, I can allow you privileged access to it, but it is still the carpenter's, so it will ultimately be his by the end of it. But you should be able to get all the work you need done much faster, I'm certain.
Very well.
And now I suppose it's time for us to barter up the price, isn't it? Isn't it always?
It always seems to be the way between us.
It's always when the tea runs out, too.
I am already in my pajamas. And already used my personality, too.
So did you want to do the roll-off?
Yes. We'll see. Do we go 50% or 30%?
And I am giving you two concessions, aren't I? Salvage rights and privilege access.
I don't consider the privileged access to be a concession. As you've already stated,
rights, then.
as you already stated, it is his house, and he does work for me.
So what are we gonna put that as? A D12 or what?
What, for the concession? That salvage rights has nothing to do with this. I do not consider that part of the agreement. That was pre-existing. We're discussing something else now.
Well, I guess it's a matter of who gets the most successes. We'll treat it as a contested roll.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and just roll my bear roll with yours. I do have fast talk, though.
This is minded negotiation, correct?
Correct. And you may add the gift of haggling if you have it.
And I do.
Yes.
I believe the mayor does too.
Oh, 3 successes for Tamra.
Just double
That's
checking.
looking pretty good.
I want to howl in his face to scare him. Sorry, just double checking.
Quite a negotiating tactic there.
I'm gonna track the best deal. Track the and contort my way right to it.
Oh,
Technically a tie.
Successes.
Yeah.
It is a tie.
40%? So you say 40% then? Hey,
If you're willing to compromise at 40%, then that would be a suitable, since you both kind of went back and forth. And
40% it seems to be, then.
Yeah, my best case was 50, your best case was 30. 40 seems amicable.
And before the sun goes down, too. We really did it very quickly this time, didn't we?
the badger kind of coughs and smiles.
Well then, at least now that we have an agreement, here is the list. And she'll go ahead and reach over and to get it from the scribe and hand it over.
And I assume this will become a real list at some point?
Yes, I imagine so. I need to probably, I suppose, pick out the particular weapons and see what prices they actually are. And I guess also ask, like, what the current guard has, which might be just nothing.
Yeah, the current guard is more militia, so they probably just have like leather armor and like a basic spear. you can certainly choose which types of things you'd like to craft and calculate cost if so inclined.
But let's see. It's just the 10 militia guard that need stuff. The city soldiers and the captain are probably good, right?
That would be fair to say, yes.
Okay. And then I guess from there would only be the 4 trainable refugees if we get them to join the militia too temporarily.
Yes.
Okay, so 14 pieces of somethings. So
Well,
I'll figure that out
14
later.
pieces of multiple somethings.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Sounds like the town is in need to go prospecting for materials.
All right. Well, it's gonna be me and the scribe, and I wonder if that wizard would be willing to come and do some additional assistive research for the day.
Well, Ling returned back to the tea house, so but we can quick switch over real fast to Ning.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, so you see Ling the otter return back to the tea house. She sets her books down, and she evidently has a lot of materials with her, and she continues back to her studies. But out of if you do you do your performances and things like that, or
Well, I like to eat, so I am going to try to earn some coin. Yes.
okay. So I'd have you roll a performance roll.
So it would be body speed or what?
Well, do you have presence? So that would be, let's see, speed and presence if you're going to do like a dance.
And probably a D12 from the career gift.
Yes, that would
Performance.
apply.
All right, speed, presence, and D12 it is.
Okay, so 3 successes. You do a very well performance. I'd say that earns you 3 buquan from the people. Yeah, and I'd say that's kind of like for all day sort of thing. But yeah, it's gone over extremely well, and the people in the tea house are all very interested to see you continue. Maybe it's just because it's a small little farming village, but yeah, everybody enjoyed themselves. As for the otter is very kind of intrigued by that as well. So it's sort of you're something different and exotic. So she starts scribbling down notes.
Well, I definitely rely on my speed, so taking notes is going to be hard.
Okay. Yes. But she basically spends the entire day there. She keeps bringing out additional books. She is renting like a room. So when it seems like she's trying to study a little bit and have some tea, but you're kind of pulling her away from that.
Being distracting, that's what I made my career out of.
But yes. So you do find, or there is another bar patron as you kind of get yourself acclimated. Oh shoot! No, let me quick. Like you've got the Skunk Sisters. They have a slave there who is you suspect was probably defeated in a border war a long time ago, but they treat the slave pretty well. So just sort of like she's always in the back chopping vegetables or things like that. You've got the new waitress, and the two of you kind of, after a little bit, have sort of a little competition to see who can get more attention. But all in all, it seems like a good place. Let me see if I can find the other person, though, who's kind of the town's fence. That would be Daquan the fence. So Daquan is an ox woman. So she occasionally comes in and out. And with the increased traffic, there's a lot of people who are kind of coming and going. And so rather than stay at her house, it seems like she's spending more and more time at the tea house. So some deals are made back and forth. You can kind of tell out of the corner of your eye. But it seems like she's having decent enough business, of course. But kind of beyond that, this would probably be, unless there's anything else that the PCs want to kind of do, this might be a good place to pause.
I have a thing I want to do quick.
Sure.
I want to actually visit the tea house and specifically visit the skunks.
Okay, sure.
All right. Upon arriving and seeing unsurprisingly, it's become very busy in here, very crowded compared to how it usually is. I'll say, wow, seems like business really picked up.
Oh, yes. They're kind of struggling to keep up with things, and they say, at this rate, we're gonna need to get another tea shipment, and we only do that once every 4 months.
I mean, it's not a bad problem to have.
Oh no, it's just the roads and all. But what can we do for you today?
Well, I'm not sure if you've heard, but I've been put in charge of town development, and it seems perhaps
You're really getting enjoyment out of that. I'm kind of a big deal now, but yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh no, that's very much what this is. But it seems like maybe now would be the time to expand the tea house, perhaps an additional story or additional rooms.
They kind of goggle at you and say, You'd be willing to do that? We've been thinking of that for years. We just never had the resources to do that. I can't believe we are you sure? Really?
Yeah, we're putting a lot of the town to work, and I think with the increase in profits, maybe if you could help our town building effort, we'd be happily able to fit you in, possibly make it a priority, as you certainly are drumming business for the town, and that adds prosperity for everyone.
Well, she kind of like crosses her arms and says, wait a minute, what are you implying? And what do you need specifically?
I just mean I'm hoping you can maybe help out with a little bouquan, and we'll be
so
sure to.
It's a shakedown, is it?
Would you like me to roll?
Yes. Now she's like, oh, so you came for money, huh?
I mean, generally renovations require at least a little money. Well, I'm lying.
Real nice place you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. Is that it? Maybe you should have brought the tiger with you.
No, this is more of I'm looking for money to help with the construction efforts, and I'll fit you in. It is a lie, of course. The money is for me, but I will fit them in.
Oh my god, okay.
I would like to first observe this transaction, and to be honest, I am thinking about intervening in the favor of the skunks.
Okay.
Well,
what
let's see
sort
how
of
good you
things
are
would-
at seeing that I'm lying.
yeah, exactly.
I'm very bad at lying. As it turns.
Oh, Ning sees through your shit. Well, just don't get don't
Let me
roll ones yourself.
let me throw my personality of sly on top of this because I
That
feel
would
like,
work.
and I might also throw a favorite use because I don't have a favorite use for deceit yet.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Wow,
so the
that's the roll
personality
for the night.
helps. What do you think would be an applicable favorite use for deceit for this situation?
Well, they do have some favored use for deceit in the book. Let's take a look.
Speaking about favorite use, can I make my favorite use of inquiry seeing through lies?
Yes, you can certainly do that. Okay, so for deceit, I'm just looking over the list here. It says acting on suggested favored uses, acting on the stage, disguise, stealing objects, matters of money, matters of the heart. So I don't think
Well, this is definitely a matter of money, so I think
So
that's
sure.
applicable.
So certainly you can do that.
Well, it's a tie between me and the key leg.
Okay. Well, Ning sort of poked her nose.
Actually,
and
if it's contested, my number's higher.
said-
But if it's success based, it's a tie.
Yeah, I think in this case it's like you both kind of initially Shang Lu Po says like these horrible lies and Ning is just barely able to wait a minute.
I mean,
Shang Lu Po doesn't want to take that money to help the villagers. So, but then it just sort of
The
turns
thing
into an elongated discussion.
the thing is, it's still probably in their best interest to give me money, even if they know it's a shakedown. It's just this way they can claim that they didn't bribe me. They have plausible deniability.
Okay, so you're attempting to okay. So if they're going to defend against that, I guess, then they will roll their own, I guess, negotiation.
It'd probably be inquiry in this case. Because I'm lying.
Right, that's true. Okay. And Ning did give a D8 to intercede on it. Well, they managed to get 2 successes, and they put their arms up and said, "Now here I thought you were trying to come in here to suggest that the town would actually help to pay to renovate the tea house, and now I get the feeling you're just trying to get money from us. Well, that's not going to happen, mister."
Well, it's actually both. I would like a little money, but if I get it, I can make sure the town pays for renovations.
I'd like a little more money too, and I could pay for my own renovations at this increased business.
Suit yourself.
She
I
kind
feel
of
like it would be
says,
cheaper just to grease my palm and let the mayor fit the bill, but far be it for me to get in the way if you want to do this yourself.
They say, "Yes. Well, if you'll excuse us, we have customers to attend to." And they give Ning a pat on the shoulder, saying, "Thanks for keeping. We like you. We want you to stay here."
Let me go find that priest. He's probably more gullible.
Okay. So you track down Brother Pierre. He's at the stables. He's after kind of introducing himself. He's does the normal daily prayers, but when he's not doing that, he's trying to figure out, okay, what next. I should clear this out, but then if I want to build a chapel, what'll that look like? And yeah, he's doing lots of preparations and whatnot. So you come into him, and he's like sweeping out the stalls of the stable.
Hello, brother.
Ah, yes, my clever. You're a ferret or a weasel?
Weasel.
You're a weasel. Ah, yes, my clever weasel friend. Yes, come in, come in. What can I do for you?
Yes, I see you're making yourself comfortable. Have
Well,
you had much time to meet many of the townsfolk?
oh, I think I have a little bit. It seems there's a lot of tribulations in this town, but I see I have my work cut out for me. I'm very excited.
I wanted to let you know that should you like to start a collection to help fund the new chapel, that would be perfectly within an allowance.
He kind of looks at you and says, "Well, yes, and Heloise does work in mysterious ways. I do want to get to that point at some point in time, but I just want to get our congregation comfortable here first."
Of course. But I was just making sure you're aware you had permission to do so in the village.
Well, I appreciate that. Would you like to stay for evening prayers?
Sure.
But he will, yes, he will do his evening prayers. It looks like at this point only a handful of people are showing up. The curiosity element certainly happened the first time he did, but he's probably got maybe 4 or 5 people that will regularly show up at this point, just because he's still really new. But he goes through the sermon. They'll say grace, and they're like, "Okay, sure," and they get up to leave. But he does not ask for collection.
That's fine. Just I figure he doesn't have money yet, so I can't try and extort him until he does.
But is there anyone else you want to try to shake down?
I'm looking around who else could benefit from my station.
How can I use my position to further my own ends?
Your completely informal,
what-
make you feel good position.
Exactly.
You just going around town going, "Hey, I'm the mayor's aide."
I'm the Bears aide.
I
Come
mean,
back when you
what's the
have
point?
connections.
What's the point of getting in politics if you can't personally benefit from it?
You'll like ask for a badge or something like that next to wear.
I know. I need something out of this. I mean, plan B is just the admiration of the people, which is all it's worth something. But money is also worth something, and I'm completely broke. Did I mention that? I gave all my money to Yazi.
Hey,
Well,
you got your stuff.
I did get my stuff, and I very much appreciate it. But
I put all that extra work in to make them look nice too.
hey, I offered you free preferential treatment.
I don't even know what that means. You're used to using words.
Like if you wanted like another blacksmith shop or another carpentry built.
I think Yazi is just bristling at the fact that you got that title. I understand that you're higher up on the caste chain than anybody in town.
I was really impressive with how I dealt with those spiders. I realized you weren't there for that.
Leah, I was busy making your stuff.
I was just surprised Yazi didn't bring it up to Tamara in person and go, "What's this about?" It's like, it's just to make him feel good.
You literally also weren't in the call for that.
Yeah.
I had a cool moment for once in the fight. I hit all 4 spiders and made them all.
Well, I think here's a good
I'd
time
overcome one
to do in mottos. But yes, let's start with you, Shang Lupo, since it sounds like you had an interesting day today.
Hey, I still have plans that are not immoral, but I tried to get that out of the way. It didn't work out. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. But what is your motto, and do you have any goals?
My motto is: it is not that the well is too deep; it is that the rope is too short. And
And
I've
I
certainly
think
been trying to use the tools at my disposal for my benefit. The roles are not.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Well, you're definitely meeting that, and the rope was not too short with the spiders, and you're certainly not at the end of your rope figuring everything out. So, yep, you certainly get an extra point. Lu Wei, how about you?
I am Lu Wei, the Tiger Slaver, whose personality is arrogance. I think he's very much proven that, and his motto is "I can move mountains," and apparently also small authors.
Yes, this wasn't as a combat heavy session this time, but you certainly have done that, so you get an extra point too. Let's move next to our new Chiling character, Ning.
Ning's motto is "For the Glory," and I believe I have worked for that.
You absolutely have. And I would also say, too, that you managed to impress somebody important. So we can give you the insider with Yu Chin as your gimme goal.
Yes, a gift.
Yep. So it'll be the insider with Yu Chin, the city, or the town that you're in. So you can sell that off or keep it. But let's move next to Tamra.
Ah, yes, Tamra Jin. Her actions speak louder than words.
Oh,
and
yes.
Oh boy, did just assigning a single title just upend everything.
It sure did. And now
I haven't caused any damage yet.
Not
yet.
I've only.
Well, he's actually making things, not damaging things.
I know. I promise I'll actually do good.
We're just gonna come back in like 3 weeks. There's gonna be like 7 stories to the tea house, and the refugees are still out of the house.
No, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna come back, and you remember those stories about Russia where the factories that made vodka, where the workers were fighting with the owners all the time, like literal gun battles.
Oh,
There'd be wars in the streets with worker riots.
oh boy.
Well, in this case, Tamra does, of course, get that extra point. And last but not least, we've got Yazi.
Yazi motto is "All will be revealed."
Oh, yes, indeed. I think your machinations are starting to come into effect. So
My
I
starter
would
goal.
certainly give you the point.
My starter goal is so far off as to not even be worth mentioning.
What's your starter goal?
Make a pact with a Shangzu.
Yeah, that's not going to happen on this game, but or so far. But could happen in the future.
Say this game. Wow, I gotta retrain this thing.
No, I mean in this session. Sorry. But I do believe that the party did manage to get satisfy the goal of get reinforcements, or whichever it was. I'm open to suggestions as far as gifts.
I know what I want personally, which would be something out of the leadership tree, I think. I'm
Which
not
one
sure
is
if that would work like generally if you just want to give everyone the same one. I'm not sure which in particular. I'm sure I had something in mind.
Are there any
and
gifts
just
that can
forgot.
reflect my new title?
Were you aiming for militia leader or troop leader?
Probably both, but militia would immediately get me a D12 to just rallying everyone forever.
Oh, certainly, yeah. No, militia
Not me,
leader.
I
you
don't
would
have local
absolutely get.
knowledge.
Well, you can, if you want to take that for the reinforcements there, Tor, I would give you, local knowledge, the local knowledge gift.
Local
here.
knowledge Yu Chin, huh?
I was serious, by the way. Is there any goal or is there any gift to reflect my new title?
Let's see here. I think administration is actually part of literacy, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
I'm not literate, so.
Well, it really depends. I mean, you could technically have authority for Yu Chin, but that depends on if it's an actual title or an actual
She didn't-
designation, because
She didn't
authority
include
does
the word
exist.
officer in my lengthy title.
Well, in this case, then yes, I think I'll give it to you, because the town seems to think you're actually a bigwig now.
Do I,
I mean, she gave me way more authority than I deserve, but
You're also maybe presuming way more authority than she actually gave.
Right, so
so you can't really say no at this point.
do I count as having had that goal?
yes, I would give that to you.
What was the goal again?
To bring reinforcements to Yu-Chen.
You know what would be a great reinforcement?
What's that?
An ally.
I was just about to suggest ally.
Somebody I don't have to pay.
Yep, so yes, bringing the reinforcements back, I think that would also fit that quite well, so. What was your question there, Tor?
No, what was the big city called again nearby?
Oh, the big city, Roljiang.
How do you spell that?
RUL space XIANG.
Thank you, because that was where my starting local area knowledge was from.
Okay, perfect. Well, I guess, did everybody enjoy themselves?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Sweet.
I did.
I always try to find something for people to do, and I have a bunch of potential leads and things. So you got to meet Ling the Otter a little early, but doesn't matter. She's a character that I had planned coming in. So on that note, I hope to see everybody next week at the same time for another rousing adventure in Zhongguo. I'm going to rest my throat and get something to drink. So y'all have a good night.
All right, you too.
See you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Since I have 10